Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
What is up, everyone? It is I almost said Pokemon Star Neo. Ryan Neo Wayne, and that wasn't even the first time. With joking, and last night was the Merge episode, aka the Blood Moon episode. Now, I really enjoyed this episode, but there was one huge, teeny tiny problem. And if you look at what my name says, that's the
Yeah,
thing. And so, like, if my bias was set aside from that, I think this would have been a really great episode because I feel like this touched on so many like interesting plot points and stuff. And it's the merge, we get the bromance back, all this stuff. But Genevieve is the most screwed over Survivor contestant in the history of the game.
yeah. Oh, I mean, she's very screwed. I'm going to be honest. I'm more negative on this episode than what you seem to be, because I really think that this triple tribal council had and how everything broke down led to very boring, like as a viewer, results. Like I could kind of tell you before tribal council, like very clearly who the three people were that were going home. um the closest one honestly was the Jonathan, but even then I'd say I'd 90% was positive that he was going to side to take out Camilla, because that's just like he's way more in that old school camp that Chrissy was pitching. So it's like that just made way more sense there. Um Genevieve, yeah, like she literally got completely like the worst straw possible for her here with her biggest rival, along with Christian and Devins, who were super tight and not turning on each other, and Joe, who at that point is going with the numbers, and Aubrey was given an idol by Christian, but thanks to Rick, so both of them are like working. So clearly they got the numbers of three. Um, and then over with the other one, I mean, Colby just doesn't have a vote yet because he lost it in episode one. He's injured, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, they just were like, I guess it's you, Colby. Like that
Well,
was.
I feel like especially that last one was a bit of an oversimplification.
Yeah,
So apparently, I haven't read the articles because morning just started for me and
yeah, I
so much
haven't
done.
either.
But I saw that, a couple of headlines saying that Colby was about to just be pulled from the game before Tribal Council.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know the details, but it feels like, all right, like Colby, the original Golden Boy, stuff like that. It did feel like he got like a proper send off. It is sometimes telling sometimes when it's, it is kind of like sad to see him go because like
Yeah,
it was, like you're excited to see the old schoolers like come back and then do the new game and stuff. And like you didn't even get to vote or anything. And like I feel like he probably would have stayed if it wasn't for his foot injury. Like I feel like 100% like people wanted to work with him. He seemed
yeah, but like
genuine,
you
like
got
a
to
good
remember,
guy.
he would it was him or Coach.
Yeah,
So if he doesn't get this injury, we lose Coach here from a
I
very
understand.
bad, a very like. And the thing is like people are going to be like, well, you got to lose people because there's so many people. You had a pre-merge where you could have been eliminating people at like a more consistent rate, where people had time with their bigger groups, bigger numbers, things can happen. But by just random draw here and three people going home basically because of pure randomness. I cannot abide by something like this. Like, yeah, it can be like pitches like, "Ooh, this has never happened before in Survivor," but it's just not like this is not Survivor. This is literally not the game of Survivor because we are playing Mario Party. We have spun a
Okay,
wheel. We have spun a
I wouldn't
wheel.
go
We have
I
spun
wouldn't
a
go that
wheel.
far. All right. I wouldn't go that far. Is it something where I'm like, in my head, I'm like Blood Moon. It's like, all right, why are they calling it that? I feel like it's going to be a different type of tribal council in general. Like, I did genuinely believe it was going to be one tribal council and top three votes get booted, basically.
See, they do that in
Uh,
orgs, but we would never see that in the actual game of Survivor. Like I
you
just
never know.
I truly believe that they would never do that because they like to have a group consensus decide something. They don't like, oh, someone just got like one vote that you're out of this game. Like and because it's for $1 million, I don't think they would do it like that. So that's why they were like, we gotta have three groups of five, which five is in historically not a great number in Survivor for votes. Like because there's
No.
just not really wiggle room. There's usually a very clear consensus on who needs to go. Everyone is in defense mode because they don't want to go out before the jury. So the second that they hear this person's name and it's not them or their closest ally, they say okay. So it literally was set up, I think. I think you could do this 100 times, and 99 times it is going to be a bad outcome in terms of television.
I I think formatting wise, I don't think it's bad television. Like I said, I was in it for the ride and I enjoyed the episode despite one of my favorites going. But I feel like yes, the when it is narrowed down to five people and it is RNG, it is a little tougher because like you're still getting to know people too. Like, the merge was like the day before. And it's also like for a lot of these people, and funny enough, for three of these people, they went home on it was their first tribal council, and three of them went home.
Mhm.
Three of those people where it was their first time went home at their first tribal council. So it's like a whole lot of game hasn't really been played
Mhm.
for some of these people.
Yeah.
And then when they so like you don't know where everyone stands, plus it's the merge and people are coming back together. And then you have, there's the whole thing about like idols or like advantages and stuff. I do find it interesting that two of the people that had boomerang idols ended up on Exile. Granted, Ozzy found it. Even though Rizzo could have found it, but he gave up literally when it was like right there.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I would sometimes like I'm wondering why is the camera on him for so long? Is he about to find it? And when he walks away, they just zoom in right
Oof.
into it. It's just like
Yeah. I mean, he was given the classic I was looking but I couldn't find it confessional. Whereas Ozzy, with the second he started talking, I immediately was like, well, he's got
yeah.
they also wouldn't give us another fake out of someone doing it after that. Like they gotta move the story along. Um, but yeah, I mean, yet again, the two people that Genevieve gave idols to that she was probably hoping might get screwed over somehow on this. And now, I mean, yet again, Genevieve going here, by the way, is the boomerang idol is near bust. The only thing that can potentially happen now is if Aubrey gets blindsided and it goes to Christian. That is the only
Which
path, which I don't think is like clearly Christian has given the idol to Aubrey not for that reason, but to work with her because
yeah,
he could have blindsided her if he wanted that idol.
a boomerang idol can work that way. And it did feel like, well, I think Aubrey did a very convincing job. Like in that moment when it's like, hey, yeah, I'm just playing it no matter what. Because
Yeah.
it's one of the most public idols. It was the first public idol. And I feel like it made sense not for her to play it, but some people
Mm-hmm.
play it just so they get that target off their back. And then
Yeah.
also, it's like, just to guarantee themselves into jury.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, and that was a big emphasis this episode. It was like, it's like you're making like by doing this you're cutting someone, they don't get their stamp on the season, basically they don't get a say in who wins and stuff,
Yeah.
and worse of all, less screen time. But it's one of those things where she was smart not to play it because it was very clearly Genevieve, because Christian wanted Genevieve,
Yeah.
Devins wanted Genevieve. It
I
was
mean,
something
Devins
where
wanted
Genevieve
Joe. Devins did want Joe.
originally, but it was
Yeah.
like one of those things where it was like, well, Genevieve is throwing Devon's names out, and so like then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, it doesn't seem I can really work with her. But like
Yeah.
obviously there is the worry. of someone playing like a shot in the dark, or like, well, maybe Genevieve does have something. Whereas Joe is a very much a straightforward person.
Mhm.
And even though he and Joe had like or Rick Devens and Joe had like a falling out, it was like, well, he is technically a number, and might as well. And like also, I feel when it comes to this one, if I'm thinking of like how you lay the foundation for future episodes, future tribal councils, getting through it, yes, like you said, is goal priority number one. But also, if you're in a power position, is like, all right, who am I working with moving forward and stuff? Like we saw
Mhm.
there were a couple people in power positions, and like how they played this out determine the rest of the game. And I do feel like another reason, like if Kobe wasn't injured, there's still the possibility goes home for one major reason. Some people like to keep around people who are beefing, so that
Mhm.
way, like, oh, that beef can continue. Uh so like maybe because Coach and like Ozzy has had a very, very public falling out, and
Mhm.
that hasn't been resolved. Apparently, it looks like it's gonna
Yeah, they're
come
going to
back next
war.
episode.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
going to war.
Yeah. Uh it's it's something where it really depends, because like there was a thing where they could have kept Genevieve because it was like, oh, that's really Aubrey's thing, but no, because like Christian and Devens are like, Aubrey might be more useful to us. We might as well keep her around and like have the consensus of voting for her, so that way she's on our side.
Yeah. Also, I mean, Joe is just so not threatening to people like Christian or Devins because sure he can win some challenges. Um, but we've already seen he's not very good strategically. He's not going to be coming up with any master plans that foil them. And if you're at the end with Joe, I mean, we've seen him already in 48. He is not great at Final Tribal, and he has not had enough time to suddenly take a lot of speech classes and figure out how to actually articulate his game properly. Where I can tell you that he will still probably not be very good in a final tribal council if he gets there. So you already have that history of that. Like Genevieve, on the other hand, I mean, she cut her close ally in fucking final 10 on her season. Like, yeah, she's going to be willing to just cut your throat even if she's smiling at you the whole time. So yeah, duh. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
only choice.
I mean, yeah, I will say, yeah, I because I rewatched that episode, and then like she definitely fell victim to big move-itis, even though in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't really a big move. But like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's like tough to say because it's island threat versus edit threat. And like, like so well, like Solo was like, oh well, Solo's very welcome, like all that stuff. But
Mm,
Genevieve was always gonna have like a bit of a target on her back coming into this season because she is a strong player and she is very strategic.
yeah.
Things just didn't line up because like I know we're talking about like misfortune one with how the idols work this season, because she could have had two idols if it
Yeah.
wasn't for the boomerang stuff.
If this was on any
Um,
other season, she has two idols.
yes. Kyle getting medevaced early on really damaged her game.
Yes.
Because it was like that was her number one. And, we did get a little bit of content of that. The fact that, like I feel like she was going to work with Aubrey, but Aubrey, was just like not having it, and then was like, oh, well, like they talked and then it went like south very
Yeah.
fast.
I truly am though curious to hear Aubrey because I've gone back and I've rewatched that scene, and I swear to God, Genevieve comes at Aubrey first with saying that you're a dangerous player, and that's like makes Aubrey go, well, what
Well,
what? Like she gets
Yes, but I
freaked out
feel like
about
it's one of those things where
it.
Aubrey knows she's a dangerous player.
Well, yeah, but
But
she's
like
trying like her. I really think in this game she wants to be under the radar and not have someone immediately saying that because of Edge of Extinction and how bad her last go is, her threat level like went down so bad, and
I
she
will
wants to
say it's
stay
like
down there.
Genevieve, like if you just use that one sentence out of context, or not out of context, if you
Mhm.
just quoted that, but Genevieve goes on is like, I'm a little dangerous too, and I want to work with dangerous.
Yeah,
So
but
she
like I understand that, but you just can't come at someone like that in the early days of a game. You can say that later on when someone has a resume and a huge like thing of that game, but saying that at like you guys hadn't even gone to a tribal council, you guys aren't even really in
Aubrey has
danger.
a damn resume. She's a four-time player.
I know, but I'm saying a resume within that game. If you go, okay, Ryan, play another game on day one, have someone come in and say, "Hey, Ryan, I know you're a two-time winner. You're a dangerous player. I can work with you because you're dangerous, and I know you're dangerous, and I don't want to get to the end with you because you're fucking dangerous. Like it's the same. It's going to be
All
the
right.
same
Let's
thing."
no. Let's continue this dialogue. It was like,
Mhm.
granted, those were only challenge based. I'm out of practice because I've been retired for a year. I'm also more out of shape than I was too. And then I also have a lot of responsibilities. So I honestly don't think I'm going to be really good
But what are you
this time
talking about?
around.
You're the golden boy, Ryan. Okay, you're the golden boy. Okay, go out there and
Are
be
you?
that. You got this. Okay, you're
I
so
mean,
strong. You're dangerous, Ryan. You are so guys. Everyone, come over here. He is so dangerous. Don't you agree? Don't you agree, everyone? He's pretty dangerous. Okay, let me go talk to these other people and let them know that you're dangerous. Because that's what she did. She went around and started talking to everyone about how dangerous she was.
well, because I feel like how Aubrey reacted in that moment, she
No,
could have
no.
played it a little
Listen,
cool.
I am going to stand here because a lot of people want to really defend Genevieve here because they really like Genevieve, but she messed up. I truly do believe that this was a misstep on her part by having this kind of conversation. This was a conversation she didn't need to have. She could have just been like, "Hey, I want to work with you. I like you. I like you as a player. Let's work together." Coming at it with any idea of putting a threat on someone like that is a wrong move. Like if anyone did this in any game that was not Genevieve, they would be like, yeah, you probably shouldn't like say that. But because it's Genevieve and people really want to like Genevieve, they're going to.
I, I, I no, I agree. She probably shouldn't have went about that way, but I would say that there are ways that could have ended up not going that way. Um, afterwards,
Yeah,
because
but
then Aubrey kind of became public enemy number one on her tribe, and
well,
then
she was
also
already like they had basically created a big group and had Aubrey and Angelina kind of on the outs, and they were just like, well, we got to find reasons to not like them. Like that's what happens. I mean, we saw Christy in episode one say sometimes you just got to have a reason to vote someone out, and you just got to come up with it. And I do think that there's a lot of reasons that were just kind of come up with Aubrey on day one because a group had been formed that was not with Aubrey.
I but I don't know. It's one of those things where, and it has to do with Aubrey's edit as well. But she did say, like I said, we had that little example, and granted, we exaggerated a little bit, or you kind of were like you leaned into it, which I don't think is how that actual conversation would go.
No, but
But like,
I mean, I gave the arcing of how everything else went on because it's not just that one conversation. It is what happens afterwards.
true. But now here's the thing. Because of how Aubrey reacted to the situation, it put something, it's like in these games, you kind of want to make your enemies not known. Like sometimes it just happens after a vote, but especially early on, you don't want to be like, yeah, I don't like how you came at me right now. And, like I feel like you're a bigger threat too. And doing that and then coming at it like at least Genevieve put like a positive spin about it. Maybe she misspoke, but then she talked her way. to kind of like circle back to make it like, oh, but I'm a dangerous player in two. But Aubrey came in as like, oh, I want no part of you. Whereas, you could have been like, oh yeah, same. Like I think you're a big threat too. It's like it could have been like, yeah, Joe, I think like if we were playing that game, like and you were like, oh, I think you're a dangerous player and stuff like that. I'm like, Joe, I think you're a dangerous player too. I think we need to cover each other's backs, like, be like a double shield. You're more of the chaos, I'm more of the like challenges. We can work together and stuff because
I
I
I
think they're
just
gonna come at us hard.
I think if you like, we could say that because we know each other. I don't think Aubrey and Genevieve really knew each other. So
No.
to just hear that coming from someone that you don't know, who you've also seen will cut someone very easily just recently. I really think that it's going to be something that a lot of people glaze over because they really love Genevieve. And I do think the edits also try to focus more on the negative side of Aubrey. Like that's what like 80-90% of that scene was showing. Um, but really it starts with a bad thing from Genevieve. And then we focus on Aubrey not handling it very, very well. Or at least that's what it seems like. But I really think that at the core of it, like the beginning fracture is a Genevieve fracture that then gets splintered open because of what Aubrey, how she handles it. So I really I don't think it's like, I don't think either of them handled it like amazingly well. Um but I don't think that Aubrey deserves to be like the full, like she didn't know what to do because she didn't want to work with Genevieve, and Genevieve needs to have people that like her and work with her because she needs to win the game. Like I do think I've seen a lot of online like talk, and a lot of it goes in that direction of they're just mad that Aubrey didn't like Genevieve because they really like Genevieve.
I mean, granted, you see more of that stuff online, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I do like Genevieve. I will say, yeah, and I've said it before, yeah, that wasn't the best way to go about it. But I will say it's like how you react to people saying stuff also plays a factor and could escalate a situation. And I feel like it escalated the situation. Um, because if you have someone that is privy to, oh, I don't want to work with you and stuff, well, it's like where there's some ambiguity and stuff like, oh, I said this, but like she still seems willing to work, like you at least give that person pause. I wouldn't say it's like, oh, it's convincing, but you give them pause. And
Mhm.
sometimes that's something that a bigger luxury because like yes, this was luck, but let's say the boomerang idol didn't go to Aubrey. Let's
Mhm.
say that Genevieve ended up in a position where she had, she had more of her people on her side going into that tribal council.
Mhm.
But if the situation was reversed, you know, Aubrey would have been screwed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. What I mean, yeah. She in that original tribe state was in not a great spot. Um, but at the end of the day, if Genevieve just didn't talk to like that, and it was just a normal state, she could have handled. She could have survived swaps. She could have not had to worry about being on with Aubrey every time that they got into a swap. But because they did, that just had to kind of be her mindset was, well, I need Aubrey out of this game. Oh no, I can't now because I got put onto this team. Um, and like because Aubrey, Christian, and Rick had essentially control here. If Genevieve seemed like she was wanting to work with Aubrey in a more willing way, there's a world Joe goes. There is a world where
There's a
Joe ends
world,
up
yeah.
going here. But because everything just kind of was not working out very great, and they did not have a very good start to that relationship, it, it just there's just no world where Genevieve really could survive this.
Yeah, I mean that's why she played her shot in the dark. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
she
and you
kind of
saw
knew it was like,
Aubrey was ready to play her idol if that was safe.
yeah, the thing is when someone and that's smart. whenever someone plays an advantage, it's like play your advantage too if it works.
Yeah.
So like that's how I kind of knew, and my heart sank a little. Like I kind of like was knowing that it was going to be her. I was like, I don't think it's going to be Joe. I feel like Joe would get a little bit more content if it was him, or there would
Yeah.
have been more like talks of like, okay, maybe we should do Joe.
Mhm.
But I was like, please let it be safe. Come on, you owe me for the J Maya stuff. Like, come on, Survivor gods.
Yeah, but yeah, I, and listen, I think that that was the real flaw of Genevieve's game was that one conversation with Aubrey, and but at the end of the day, she is still very screwed. Like I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, every like she deserves this or oh, no, she gets screwed in this game. Like the fact that you find two idols, go out, you're close to that ally gets medevac, you lose Q who also was part of your alliance. She doesn't know about it yet, but Colby, who was also part of that alliance, is also now out of the game, like just a little bit later. Like everything that could go wrong for her ends up going wrong in a lot of ways. Like pretty much
Yeah.
every chance that it gets. So
Her boomerang idols are away. So like even if it was able to be
yeah,
transferred to her at a later tribal council, or like I would say like she still had some, like with Ozzy, or like even if like Ozzy or like Rizzo were in tribal council with her, like maybe
yeah,
there's something. I was like, well, it's like I don't think that it would come back to me because I don't think you're stupid enough to be blindsided with an idol or something. Like there's always
yeah,
something you can say. I was like, it was my way of her trying to work with you.
yeah.
At the very least, he can say that, or you can see that to you know, I almost said Joe. You can say that to Ozzy,
Mhm,
but Rizzo, she wanted to keep a little secret. And I mean,
mhm.
yeah, because it's like,
Everyone knew how
ooh,
the idols worked that season. So if you
yeah,
know that you're the if people know that you're the one that sent it, everyone's going to know if that person is voted out with an idol in their pockets that you got the idol now.
yeah. But I know we talked a lot on Genevieve, but there is quite a bit that happened here.
Yeah.
So
Well, she's the one of these three that had a season long arc so far, where there was things throughout that we kind of have to touch on.
it is. I do want to, because there is some other stuff that happened this episode. Like one thing I am excited to talk about is Rizzo, Ozzy, and Suri kind of having this tight three,
Yeah,
which
a
if I
polyamorous relationship.
yes, which I never thought Suri would say. I know she was saying it for the sound bites and for the lulls, but I was like, the very loving mother be like, yeah, Polly.
With Rizzo and Ozzy.
I just imagine the challengers like situation, like
Oh my
you know,
god.
she's just on the bed and just saying, it's like,
I don't want that image in my head.
too bad
I don't
I
want it.
placed it there.
I
Just
don't want it. I don't want it. Oh my gosh. But I will say this does feel like it's going to be a very strong alliance in the
oh,
post merge
100%.
because they got two
Um,
idols, they got an extra vote, and you got people like Suri who socially usually knows what's going on and has a good pulse on the game. Rizzo, who I mean, he'll hold on to his idol. He'll do crazy bold moves to do stuff. Um, Ozzy or Oscar is trying to be more strategic this season. We'll see how that continues going here. Obviously they're going to be going to war with Coach pretty soon. So
yeah. Uh, and I feel like, yeah, that's a tight three. And then you see like kind of the layers of like Rizzo, because he's also really tight with D.
mhm.
So like if I had like more time to kind of like dissect where I think things would go, it's like because you are kind of like seeing branches of like different alliances kind of like form. And it's
Mhm.
like so you do see Rizzo and like even Suri worked with like D and stuff. And then so there could be a thing where it's like you're starting to form semblances of like who might be working. And I feel like this
Mhm.
is the right side, or this is going to be a major majority because you're going to have, for looking at that, Ozzy can also pull in Emily.
Mhm.
Emily could pull in, he could very much pull in, uh, her original duo with like Chris and Devins and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And then potentially Aubrey. So like I'm starting to see like this kind of like
Yeah.
grow more and more, and I feel like kind of like more of the like bros guys are starting to get a little left out because
Mhm.
you don't have Jonathan, who Jonathan has a little bit of heat on him now. And then like you see him and D kind of have a little falling out. You have
Mhm.
Joe, who's kind of just there. We haven't really seen much of his game apart from trying to stick to like a group.
Yeah.
Um, you have Coach, who was heavily considered of getting eliminated if it wasn't for Colby's like almost
Uh-huh.
being pulled from the game, but wanted to give him a proper send off. It's like you're starting to see like, oh, this might be the group that moving forward will determine the first few votes of this merge, or
Mhm.
of the jury phase, basically.
Yeah.
So I know it's interesting because this is coming off the heels of Angelina's statement about how women are being edited this season. I have seen a counter statement in support of like why it might be this way,
Mhm.
but sometimes they over edit the males in a season where we do get a woman winning a season just so we see their downfall.
Yeah. I've seen that as well. And yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. I think the real issue with the editing is that most of these zero confessionals have gone to women. The only
Yes.
guys that have gotten zero confessionals were Rick and Jonathan, where they each got a zero. But besides that, it has basically been most of the women.
Yeah. Which obviously I'm not discrediting what Angelina said at all because
Yeah.
we've talked about it. Or we've talked about the goose eggs. I think like in the moment I didn't notice like, oh yeah, these are mostly women. I was just seeing like the
I,
player, which is kind of funny because
I think I called it out when we had like five women in in episode two got goose eggs.
yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like it's one of the things that you're gonna have to look at a little bit because
Yeah.
I feel I think it's just kind of like name the game because it definitely felt like except for the Genevieve vote, women held so much power in the game. Granted, it was just
Mhm.
Jonathan, and so it was like whatever direction he wanted to go. But like, it was the three ladies, and then they were like, for the Coach Colby one, it was like, yeah, I'm not turning on these two.
Mhm.
And so it's like, all right, it's gonna be one or the other. Um,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting as things move forward because I feel like the odds of a just now that we're at the like merge and stuff, like the official start where the jury phase, you do sit and wonder, and it's like, all right, who are the potential winners? Who are
Mhm.
we seeing, and what are we seeing from them where it might work out in their favor? If we're subtracting the fact of goose eggs, Sariq still could potentially win this game.
Yeah, she's the only one who's got a goose egg who has a chance. But even then, like I would still put her lower purely because of that until we see more of the game. Basically, like she has
Yeah,
to kind of be down a little bit because of that.
it is. And, like when the merge even happened this episode, there were
Mhm.
like 17, like biggest merge ever. And it's like hard because we've never had this happen before. So we don't know the patterns as well because bigger cast, all this stuff. The
Mhm.
patterns have like changed a little bit.
Yeah,
There will be some things that are like you can still see. Like
yeah,
it's obviously, even though Tiffany got 6 confessionals this episode, quadrupling what she originally had.
yeah.
It's like
But to be fair, I like her commercials also were a bit of nothing burgers in terms of content, in my opinion. They were very like generic, like oh we're merging, yay, and
She
here's
also, I,
yeah.
I do want to mention she won back-to-back Applebee's challenges as
Yes,
well.
I was also going to bring that up. Yeah, she made Liz Wilcox proud.
Yep, as the 46th representative with the most famous Applebee's moment.
Yeah.
And I will say, like when Jeff was like saying, "You're also playing for reward," he was melting. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
it was the
his
most.
performance is where they got the milk for all the like milkshakes they had or like cheese that were on the burgers and stuff because
Yeah.
he melted like
It was it was like
more than any.
5 to 6 minutes of him just describing the foods.
It's like, okay, Jeff, we really just need like 30 seconds of you saying something
Yeah.
because we want to get on to
Yeah,
the.
normally it's just like this is this and that and this and that worth playing for. Like instead he like went into like very thing like had dramatic pauses after each
Yeah,
line.
he's like, there's bacon in the burger, there's bacon in the cheese, there's bacon, also on the
Everywhere.
burger. There's bacon in the immunity aisle. There's bacon everywhere.
Yeah, no, I absolutely picked up. I was like, dang, Applebee's must have really paid the bag on this one.
Yeah. Uh, which that was a little. I'm not gonna lie, that was a little cringe. I was just like,
Jeff has been very cringe this season. Like I think he knows it's a big season, so he's trying really hard to like play everything up and have everything be bigger. But sometimes it is not coming off the way I think he wanted it to.
yeah. Sometimes it's just ironic because he told Jimmy less is more.
Yeah, yeah, and
Like earlier this year.
yeah, and he's doing more, and it is not working as well.
Jimmy, aka Mr. Beast, in case you don't know who
Yeah,
Mr. Beast's first name is.
yeah. For a second, I almost thought Jimmy Fallon.
My bad. But no. So, you know, how do you feel about two people going before to exile before this challenge? Because yes, it offered like more even tribes for a tribal council, but I wouldn't have mind like an extra person here or there in like two of those.
Yeah, I mean, in this scenario, you have to. That's what they were so hell bent on having us have three tribes of five. I mean, you can't have less than that. Um, at this point, like that's what they had to do. Like yeah, I've been on it. I really think that they could have easily not done it like this. Barstool, surviving Barstool, they did a 24-person season cast and they did where the first tribe that won immunity in the pre-merge was safe, the other two went, and that's how pre-merge went. And you sped through and got to the merge pretty quickly. I think they probably should have done something very similar on the season, where you do that for 2 to 3 episodes, do a swap, do another couple episodes, bam, where you're in the merge.
I will say I don't mind them doing a triple. Could have been better, maybe.
I mean, a
Um,
triple could have worked in episode one, by the way. I really do believe that if all three tribes went to tribal, I think that would have worked because at least like we would have seen everyone have to go to tribal council right off the bat. Everyone would have had it would have been essentially like just don't be the first boot of your starting tribe. And I think everyone would have been totally fine with that. It is the fact that it's this
it's what we
random
were.
draw.
That's what we were expecting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, all right, when they were making it, what's stuff that we haven't done on it? So I get them wanting to do like the biggest merge ever, and I get them wanting to have
But
like a triple
it's not
trap.
even really a merge, like really.
In essence, yeah, it wasn't really because they just
It's a
divided them, and
swap. It
it
was a
was
swap.
it was a swap, but they had time to mingle.
Yeah, but
So
they didn't get to mingle with the people that actually mattered. They got to mingle with everyone, and then suddenly get told, like right before votes, or like a couple hours before voting, these are now your groups. Go figure it out.
I will also say, um, in Survivor, it wasn't like the worst offender. They've had seasons where they've had like pretty late merges, but that was also seasons where bigger cast early on where they had more days and more episodes.
Mm,
Um, Before finale, there are 12 episodes. We are at the halfway mark.
yeah,
Um, and it's like, I do like a big, because I think sometimes the downside to like when you do have too many like triples or doubles, especially later on, you do take away from some people's eliminations.
yeah,
I mean, like the eliminations are still there. Like we'll talk more about Colby's, but like Colby's was sad.
mhm,
You could like see in his eye, and like he knew it was him because of like him almost being pulled and everything. And it was just like, you know, but like like obviously we're not really talking about Camilla too much, which
mhm,
is like it's unfortunate for her obviously because it was like
yeah,
she didn't get to she gonna be glossed over a lot
yeah,
because of what happened with Genevieve and what happened to Colby. Like those
yeah.
had more like
And she's the one person that got
interesting,
blindsided. Like she's the one person of these three that thought that she was going to be safe.
which is the irony of it all.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so it's like sometimes it does kind of like yada yada, and it does kind of like your elimination kind of gets lumped in with some other people as well. Uh, because like, all right, if they're having 6 people at the finale, we're at 14. That means they have to have 2 more doubles. I wouldn't have mind another double or something earlier on in the pre-merge. So that way we at least have been like, all right, so we have the triple, which I'm fine with the triple, but then we would have had like one double, and then that would have been it. Whereas for this one, it was like, all right, so we're probably going to have a lot more in the merge section, which is like, I kind of want to give them room to breathe a little bit.
yeah. I mean, I just know that everyone would have way preferred if we had 17 people going to tribal council together and
I
having
would
to,
have as well.
because that would have been crazy. It would have been hectic. It would have been very unpredictable because we would have seen, I'm telling you, at least 5 different names being said as real
Oh,
contenders to go home.
yeah.
And that is
Especially if it
significantly
was,
more interesting.
especially if it was top 3 votes. I think you make a good reason why they wouldn't do that.
Mhm.
Um, but then again, sometimes they're like, screw the edit. We think this is going to be cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think orgs do it because like it's an org and it's like whatever. I think you could go 1,000 seasons of Survivor and they would never do something like that. I truly believe that.
we'll see. Like, I never want to say never. Like, maybe a
Mhm.
double because
I
they're gonna
I
think of
never
new
want to see that.
things.
I never want to see that in Survivor. I truly don't like if someone like I hate seeing it in orgs, but in orgs like whatever, like some people just decided to come up with it. In the game of Survivor, I really do not want to see one person just get like a hinky vote and go home because of this.
I mean, like sometimes it does suck. But it's always different circumstances that kind of because usually I will say also in those like doubles where it's like more than one person within it, that usually it's 2 people, like 2 kind of like big names that do go because it's like, oh, we have to get rid of this, and then there's like usually it's 2 sides of a war.
Yeah.
Even though
Well,
in
and
my
also just think about like the editing. Like someone is going to know they're getting votes, and because it's top 3 people go home, they just know that they're out of the game. It is a very like unbalanced way in that in terms of like editing a show and trying to have any dramatic like suspension and tension and all that kind of stuff, it would very much like take away kind of like that element of it. Whereas in an org, you don't have to worry about that. It's just like, here we go. The people, her person who knows they're going home, is just gonna be like whatever. But in on TV, you can't just be like whatever. You gotta have like some like, I can still be in this. I can fight. I can get
Well,
myself.
it's also for $1 million too. Like,
Yeah,
org, it's like some people don't take it as seriously because it's just a hobby to them. I don't
yeah.
want to say
But
like
if you know
this
you're
is
getting
all.
7, 8 votes against you, like you're gonna be one of the top three. There's no like real getting out of that. Like even if you try to like pitch yourself, you got so many people who have already decided it's you. Like you're going to be one of those top three, regardless of what you do at that point.
Yeah. So I don't know. They may try it one time, but they didn't this episode. But
Yeah, and I truly think if they don't do it in the season, it would never happen. And
yeah.
like I said, I I truly think you could go 1,000 seasons of Survivor, and they would never do that. Like I really do believe that.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Um,
trying to see what we can go more. So when the tribes were like divided and we're talking about the hanging or the this challenge, for a split second I was like, wait, I think Genevieve could actually win this one.
mhm.
But I don't know. I saw something where because they said you can't use shoulders, stuff like that. I feel like
Yeah.
as they're transitioning down, some people forgot that rule.
Well, it seemed like in the transition you were able to be a little more loosey goosey as long as you get
Yeah.
there. But I would say Christian also, while he was competing with Genevieve, was absolutely using his shoulder to prop himself there.
Yeah, I didn't have time to rewatch the episode and do that. And I was like,
I know because my friend who I was watching it with literally said it as Genevieve was about to fall. Like she was like, I think Trish is cheating there.
yeah. So she could have been saved.
Yeah, he probably should have been not winning that challenge, but
Not gonna lie. Still, like this one was like because I was still happy with him winning.
Mhm,
And I was happy with Stephanie winning immunity. First
mhm.
one in quite some time too.
Yeah.
Um, so it was like it's always tough because like especially when you come into all-star season, some of your favorites will not work together and sometimes they will target each other, which is always sad because it's like I want to root for both of you.
Mhm,
But it just doesn't line up that way. Uh
mhm,
but yeah, so that was like one of the things I feel like when I was looking at the try because I watched a video and it was like, all right, how would these go if it's like three different tribal councils? They kind of called it that Kobe would probably be taken down. It would have
mhm,
been a great full circle moment if Coach ended up winning.
mhm.
Uh
I
they
I mean,
even mentioned it.
yeah. I
They
mean,
they went back to show it.
they did flashbacks during it, but it was
Yeah.
just recalling that. Yeah, he also lost the challenge.
But when I was looking at the divisions, I was like,
Mhm,
he's with D, and D, like like she's a bit of a comp beast herself, and like even Jeff was like, "This is what you won third or three on your original season." It's like, don't say it so loud. He's like, there are
yeah.
no secrets.
Yeah, yeah, and this is a D competition. Like
Yeah,
I think you could tell that she would have probably been at least a top three against everyone in the field, regardless. So it's kind of expected that she ends up winning this one here. Um, her big toe didn't get in the way.
no, it's yeah. With this one, it's always the people with the lighter frames because they have
Yeah,
because like yeah, it's people with lighter, that good athletic build but slim athletic. So like
yeah.
because you're holding up like and that's always the thing. Like like when Joe, strong dude, he can be but like he has to hold up all that stuff on like very small surface area of,
Yeah.
his foot. It's like, no, that's not
Yeah.
going to work.
Same with Jonathan. Like he also fell pretty early-ish. Just because I mean he's a big guy. Like he's you
Yeah.
know, he is not getting down to those last couple footholds. Like he just physically it just there's nowhere for him to grip onto.
Yeah. I was like, the one that I thought could go either way was between Stephanie and Chrissy.
Mhm.
But I was like, I probably think Stephanie would win, one because, like she kind of prides herself on her athleticism a little bit more. And then like, yeah, so I'm like, I can probably see Stephanie win this, but I wouldn't count out Chrissy.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so let's see. Is there anything else that we really I feel like we kind of touched on I guess we got to say a little bit about Chrissy because I do think that this was a good episode for Chrissy this
Yes.
this this week. Um she was in danger, which I in this kind of scenario it is actually good to be the one person that is getting targeted and then you get the numbers to survive because no one's going to be holding like any ill will towards Christy from this. It's all going towards Jonathan because he's the one that flipped. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, Christy, I mean, her pitch is really way better than Camilla's pitch. Like Camilla is like, well, we were on the same tribe. Like, come on, let's keep working together. Whereas Christy's is more like, we're cut from the same cloth. Trying to kind of
Yeah.
go in that route, which Camilla literally just blindsided Jonathan. So like, why is Jonathan now suddenly going to stick his neck out for Camilla here?
And there's that too. And like, I know like they spent some time, like it was the only bit of content we got before it went into merge was like, it was like Dee and Jonathan on the island, and then Dee is like, yeah, sorry, we couldn't let you know, like we're still good, but like we couldn't let you know because we didn't want Charlie to play anything. And then like obviously when people give you that talk, you're supposed to be a good sport about it and stuff like
Mhm.
that, so you don't burn any bridges.
Yeah.
um but like, it's like one of those things where it's like, especially with something like this where it's like, well, Chrissy was on my original tribe too, and I know Chrissy and Coach are working together, and then like Chrissy is saying a lot more of the things that I want to hear, and like Camilla, granted, I don't know how privy he was to like how aggressive uh Camilla wanted to play this game,
Mhm.
but like she almost won her season. So like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where she was going to be a big threat in this game regardless. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And like she's considered more of like a sneaky player. Like at the end of the day, like that is kind of like what she's wanting to kind of be, especially this season, like that she can manipulate and like people in the episode were like, like she'll run the bus over and then back it up and run it back over you.
Yeah. I also need to amend what I said because it was only 2 out of 3 people went to that was their first travel where they got eliminated. I had to correct myself. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Camilla was on
Camilla
the
did go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She took out Charlie. Um. Okay. Anything else we want to talk about before we get to confessionals?
uh I guess like the other main thing is Colby,
Mhm.
because like you did kind of see, and this is kind of sad because we are seeing a lot of old like coach and stuff and like starting to like stir like, oh yeah, because he even was like, Emily was telling me this and this and this, and then D clocked at me, it was like, why didn't you tell me this sooner? And then he's like, ah shit. Like, so we are seeing some old coachisms which I'm not
Mhm.
too fond of, because I
Mhm.
was like, no, you were supposed to be humbled and stuff because of being a
Coach
dad.
doesn't learn. That's his whole thing is he doesn't learn.
I mean, still love the guy. You give great content, but I was like, as that was happening, I was like, no, am I going to lose my winner pick?
Yeah.
But
What's interesting though is that he only got one confessional in this episode. By the way, and like
yes,
in fact, just after the premiere, he has not gotten an episode over 2 confessionals,
Yeah.
which is I think kind of crazy because like give us more coach, please.
Yes. And it's tough because he did go to tribal, and granted, he wasn't the decision maker here. But before you could argue it's like, well, he's not really going to tribal, so it doesn't matter as much. But I
Yeah.
always take that with a grain of salt because people still get content even if they haven't.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I also thought it was interesting because I feel like the edit has really shown us as coach being the head of that honor, integrity, and loyalty alliance. But I felt like we got a little more that Colby was actually the one who had the better polls and connections and like trigger of that group here. Um,
yeah,
so interesting how maybe the edit is telling us one thing when the island perception is and reality maybe even is different.
well, I think the thing too, and they even said it was like because Suri was trying to protect Coach in this vote, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
Coach is not the head of the snake in this situation where it was like he may think he is, but he's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I know so it is one of those things where it was like, well, when it comes to like Colby, he's like, yeah, he's injured and could potentially get medevaced, but you can't bank on that being the fact. It's like you
Mm-hmm.
don't know. Also, it's like with Colby, he's not going to be as big of a target as everyone else. And
Yeah.
so like he can easily sneak his way to the end. Hell, I thought that was his way to get like further in the game. It was like he is
Yeah.
gonna,
He had the potential to be the goat of the season where it's like he can't really do the challenges anymore. And also I mean that fall by the way that Colby did, oof. That was painful to watch.
well, I
Um
mean, like I get why he still did the challenge, but I was
yeah.
like, there's no way he's winning this because
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure on his foot. And I
Yeah.
believe he was said that he got a torn ligament or something.
Yeah, and like he didn't like inch his way down. He just like went for it, and it was
It's kind
like,
of hard to inch your way down.
yeah,
Oh, like people do it, but like if you see the people who drop on this challenge, it's like they
yeah.
still like drop a little bit because like they
I
can't hold it anymore.
yeah. I mean,
They
there are
can't
ways
hold,
like if you say I'm out, you can literally just grab onto one thing and like climb your way
yes, there is that
down.
way. Sometimes in the heat of the moment you forget that, but it's like
Yeah,
you're already hurting. It's like I'm surprised he didn't sit out of the challenge because he was like, I literally can't do this, and this might make my leg worse.
and it truly did. I mean, he literally couldn't leave camp. He was hobbling around. Like he looked like when he was entering tribal council, he looked like he was 70, 80 years old in terms of like his movements.
Yeah. And it's
So
sad because we talked about because like it was very much he's going. And like he was like, wait, maybe there is a chance I don't, like but like it was something that was like, I don't have a vote. And like he's talking about his time on Survivor, and then you see people tearing up, and like they'll do that if like a legend is going and it's someone they were excited for. Um, and it's very like televised that was going to be him,
mhm.
and like he starts crying as well, tearing up. It was like Survivor has shaped so much of my life. Literally half of my life has been a Survivor contestant, and everything is kind of like the domino effect of that has led him to where he is. So
Mhm.
it was, I start, I'm an emotional guy. So like I saw, I was like, oh damn, it is because I wanted to see a
Yeah.
little bit more of him. I was like, at least let him make jury, please no.
Yeah,
But like,
I thought he was great on the season, honestly. Like I really
I
wanted to
agree.
see more of him, because I mean this is probably the last time we'll ever see Colby on Survivor. Like I don't like that this
Even Jeff acknowledged it.
yeah, exactly. So it just sucks to see, a legend of the game go out like this.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time we get into unless there's any other things you can really think of.
No, I think we can go into confessionals.
All right, we go into confessional count because we value screen time on this channel. Um, I always take a little bit of a sneak peek, but it's cool talking about it. So
Yeah.
go right ahead, Joe.
Yeah. Okay. So the three people taken out here, Camilla ends the season with 12 confessionals. Genevieve ends the season with 21 confessionals. And Colby ends the season with 13 confessionals.
Yeah. Uh, I think that makes sense for most of them. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
because there's usually someone with like a bunch of confessionals that gets
Mm-hmm.
taken out early. You know, like
Yeah.
we see it time and time again. Like Nate was taken out, even though he got a lot of great content. Granted,
Yeah.
Genevieve did get a goose egg one episode.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was the Zach Brown episode, if I'm not mistaken,
It was
or
the
the double.
no, yeah, no, it was the previous episode. So yeah.
Yeah,
Um, she now is the player out of the game with the most confessionals.
yeah. So that makes sense. Like looking at like patterns and stuff in the past, like like two other people that went, them having like a low confessional count also makes sense.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, we have a new confessional leader this time. We got Ozzy. He's back on top here at 42 confessionals.
yeah. For someone that was absent for a decent chunk of it, he got quite he got a big chunk of confessionals. Him and Rizzo.
Yeah, yeah. I think Ozzy still has win equity to him.
He does.
I don't know how people vote for him because I do see him still having trouble getting garner of certain new era players. Um, but you definitely can't knock him out of this winner contention yet.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
Because we will see once we get to because once we get to like the proper merge now, it's like
yeah,
it is a different game, and we haven't seen how he's really interacted with this tribe because as soon as he got here, as soon as he got there, he basically left with Rizzo. So it's like
yeah,
they didn't get too much of a chance to even like, you know, be more within the tribe and everything. And like it is like a disadvantage, but also like advantage because you survive three eliminations and you automatically make it to the jury phase.
yeah.
But I mean, he seems pretty well, one, he was known for being the challenge beast meathead guy.
Mhm.
He's lost every single challenge that he's done so far. So he has that taken away. He is relying on his social game. He has an idol. He has an alliance member with another idol. He has another alliance member with an extra vote, which like nobody knows about except for him, Rizzo, and yeah, the only two people that know about it besides Suri, who has it, is Rizzo and Ozzy. So like that seems like a tight three that's going to go far.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Ozzy leading the pack in terms of content here, but right behind him, of course, is Hugh Bicky, with 40 confessionals. Um, yeah, I mean, he's gonna every episode he's in. I mean, he's gonna get content. Like this was the least amount of content he's gotten so far in an episode, and it was still at 5 confessionals.
Which isn't too bad.
Yeah, and still a
Uh,
lot.
yeah, because he still has one, like how many did Ozzy get this episode? Because I feel like it was a whole bunch,
Ozzy got 8.
which is crazy because he he wasn't in the episode so much.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's like we had three tribal councils, so obviously we were at like 24 minutes in because I had to watch it when it came on Paramount Plus.
Mhm.
We were like 24 minutes in, and it was like, all right, we're going to like the tribal councils and everything. So like you have to try and like get everyone's vibe from each tribal council, stuff like that. So getting 8 when you're not even a part of a tribal council is nuts. But
Mhm.
I feel like 5 should have been like more the average of like for some people, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so after Christian, we have a pretty big drop to the next one, but we have Rick Devens at 23 confessionals.
That is quite the drop.
Yes, 17 confessional difference.
Yeah. But still good for him. We're getting more. Now we have the bromance back. And like,
Finally.
he was worried about his position in the game because like, what if Genevieve's Shot in the Dark works? I might be screwed because she said my name and Joe might go that way too.
Mhm.
Uh and like uh who like Aubrey also has the idol and she seems very adamant about playing it. So
Yeah. Exactly, but it worked out for Rick. He's still in this game. He's still got the fake idol at Tribal Council, which yet again they hinted at this episode. So clearly, like they're trying to let us, they're reminding us of it. And I
I mean,
do
yeah, because
I think it's going to come up in one of the next couple episodes. Personally, I think it's coming up very soon because they want us to know about it now, so that way when it happens in a week or two, we already are like aware of it.
I am excited for the payoff for this because
Yeah,
it's never been done before.
yeah,
Um, it's never been done before. We've had people think they're idols at Tribal Council. We have had hundreds of people, or not hundreds. We have
mm-hmm.
had people put fake idols into the game.
Yeah,
Rick Devens famously putting fake idols all around,
yeah,
using them and play. Like like he's almost as synonymous with fake idols as he is with actual idols.
yeah, yeah. He's
So
a
like the
great
fact that
chaos
there's
gremlin.
yes, he is. He is your whenever you evolve, that's what you kind of look like
Yeah,
him a little bit.
yeah,
Um, if you have a bit more of a beard, um,
yeah.
had
Exactly.
more of a southern twang to your voice, you could probably be Rick Devens.
Yeah, I know in one of my audition tapes, I definitely, or like audition forms, I definitely put Rick Devens as the player I most like.
Yeah. Um, Hell, there's sometimes because you wear the blue shirt and the red shorts before, and he wears that all the time
Yeah,
on this. I'm like,
exactly.
it's his Joe cosplay.
uh, but yeah, no, I'm rooting for Rick. He also has a zero conventional episode though, so not looking great as a winner. And he has, in general, been Christian's like right hand man, which typically when you get that role, um, doesn't necessarily mean winner. It means you're kind of attached to that person, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
um, okay, next up we got a tie between Emily and the Riz God at 21 confessionals.
Nice. Nice.
Yep, still getting
I'm
some.
glad both of them are. Also, I know we were worried about Emily not making it to the merge,
Uh,
in the jury phase. I'm so glad she did because, like,
yeah, 100%.
I'm excited to see where because she also seems like she's in a very good position in the game too.
People keep
So
giving her info, and then she keeps telling people this info, and then it makes people trust her, and but also it's making people be like, "Shut up."
she hasn't. Luck may run out on that, but
Yeah,
like she hasn't faced repercussions from it, or they're never like, "Nah, fuck this. We're voting Emily as a result."
yeah, exactly. So, um, pretty funny there. But yeah, no, I'm happy that she's here. I know that she didn't want to play Survivor again after her first go. She's like, I've already got my experience, but here she is playing with the legends and getting that screen time. That's what you need, Emily.
Hell yeah. Props if
Okay,
you're watching. I know you're way
yeah,
bigger than you were the first time you played, but
yeah.
hi if you're watching.
And look at this. She's got more confessionals than this next person, Sheree Fields at 17 confessionals.
I still feel like her getting goose egged is like one of the biggest sins of the
It
editors.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they literally couldn't give her one confessional in that episode is a true mistake. like a blunder. Like if you're playing
Yeah,
chess of editing, that is a blunder of a move.
that's like putting your queen in position of to get taken out by a pawn. It's
Yeah,
no.
exactly. It's something that probably like just shouldn't have happened. Especially since it's just become like known that goose egg players are not winning the game, and Cherie's like one of the people that there's really trying to be built up as could win this game. Um, like so much as like in the opening moments, like they gave a huge part of that to Cherie as like of her story and all that stuff. Like they really gave a lot to her. Um, so the fact that she gets a goose egg here just kind of is a little deflating.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay, next up, we got some people here with 16 confessionals. We got Aubrey, Coach, and Jonathan.
I know this was a big episode for Jonathan as well because he
Yeah.
got,
He doubled his confessionals.
yeah, there was actually two incidences of that, and then one
Mhm.
quadruple, which
Yeah.
we already mentioned that for Tiff, but like,
Mhm.
uh, yeah, I think Jonathan's storyline going through into the next phase of the game is going to be interesting. Because I don't think it's as one thing that we didn't touch on, but as I'm talking, am reminded of. Sari did mention like how old school plays Survivor and how new school plays Survivor.
Yeah.
And so like and then like even Sari is like there is a little bit more fluidity to the game, and you kind of need that to evolve because that's how the game is played now.
Mhm.
So we're gonna see where this is all going to, because loyalty is super important to a game, because like if you can't trust anyone, then you're pretty much screwed.
Mhm.
But it's like, is he going to be aligned with the right people? And did he burn so many bridges by joining the old school side of things?
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to see. Obviously he'll still be good in challenges, so he could still win some immunities. Getting that Applebee's, helps fuel him, so he's gonna be.
Protein for the muscle,
Yeah, he was going crazy. He was just pounding burgers.
pounding burgers, everything.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, we'll see. I think he could definitely survive it. I think he's got people that do have his back, but he's going to have now people like Tiffany and Dee coming after him. But like, let's be honest, and it hasn't been the kindest to those two. Like, let's just be honest.
It was kinder to them this episode.
Yeah,
However, grain of salt,
yeah.
very much a grain of salt,
Grain of salt. Maybe more than a grain. Maybe, maybe.
maybe a packet or two.
Yeah. So we'll see how everything works out for him. Okay. Next up, let's see. We are down to some people who have 14 confessionals, and that is Joe and Stephanie.
Yeah, they do seem very much like people that are there.
Mhm.
Um, I will say officially on the channel, Joe, if you want to swap Joe and Stephanie, we can make that trade right now.
You would do that trade.
I will do that trade.
Okay, you know what? I'm willing to do it.
You had a big ass smile on your face too. We were just like,
Yeah, well, because I was wondering if I wanted to be an asshole and say fuck you.
we
But it,
both know like
yeah,
Edit's not treating him well. Like
they're both not winning this game. I'm just gonna be
yeah,
honest. They are not winning this game. This is purely like us gambling on which one we think is going to have longer longevity in this game.
that's not even why I'm doing it. I just want Stephanie.
You just want Stephanie? Okay, I'll give you Stephanie. And I'll take Joe. I'm down to do that. Handshake. Yeah. Okay. I'll make that trade to our list later.
Yeah, because when I'm looking at our list, I'm like, actually, I need to get our list, but let's still go
Yeah.
over the remaining people that need. their
yeah.
confessionals
We can do a
stated.
little recap of who everyone has at the after this. Um, okay, so yeah, Joe and Stephanie at 14. Next up, we have D at 11 confessionals.
She had quite a bit this episode because she won immunity. Also, the whole thing with like Jonathan, and then she was a little bit of a pivotal vote when it came to the Colby thing, at least edit wise, or at
Mhm.
least like they gave her that role of like she's like the deciding factor of like how that trouble's gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, getting a little content here. Biggest content boost here goes to Tiffany though, at 8 confessionals now. She gained 6 in this one episode.
Quadrupling her
Yeah.
confessional count. It's funny because I was on set Monday and no, not Monday, Tuesday. And I was talking to someone who was like playing, who also likes Survivor, and so we were like talking about the season, and it was like I look at confessional counts and stuff, and it was like she has before this episode, she was like she has less confessionals than Zach Brown, and she was like, "What?" This is like it's like yeah, it's like they done her dirty, but I
Yeah.
think now they're starting to make up with it. We'll see how
Mhm.
the edit treats her now that she's going to tribal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta go to tribal, which is why they probably should have had everyone go to tribal in episode 1, so that way at least everyone we can really see everyone's game at least somewhat. But I
Season
digress.
60,
Yeah.
season 60, Blood Moon at the very first yeah.
Oh no, no, no. Okay, and lastly, the new person at the end of the confessional is Chrissy at 7 confessionals. Um,
Several.
shut up. Uh, we have no Jelinski. We have no. I'll be okay. I'm gonna tell you this. It was crazy. I had a weird fucking dream last night that we were that Survivor was happening, and they had a weird fucking twist where halfway it was the merge just like how we had done it, but instead they brought out a bunch of people who missed out on being cast on the season. And one of them got to be on the cast. They had to do a challenge, and guess who won?
Zelensky.
Yeah.
You're just telling about this. You're just telling me about this now.
I just had this dream last night.
Oh god. Because
Uh,
I don't shut the fuck up about it.
yeah. So Jelinski in my dream was on season 50.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go run and get my notebook, but
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Let me go ahead and make this trade. Okay, so you can have Stephanie, and I will go ahead and take Joe. Bam, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Um, okay, I think that's perfect.
yeah, because we're looking at each other's like we've been pretty good on our we've been pretty damn good on our drafting.
Assessment. The people on the bottom of our drafts are the people going.
Yeah, like the lowest person you have is D, who you got at ninth as your ninth pick.
Mhm.
The highest person you lost was
Colby at
yeah,
8.
Colby at 8. For me it was Jenna, but like
Yeah,
it's one of those things where it's before you even know. I didn't think she would be the first one gone, but yeah.
yeah,
So like, yeah, for
but
me, there's a huge like, what is it called? There is a huge like from 8 through 12. All those people have been eliminated. So props to
mhm.
both of us, especially because we've had some rocky drafts before. We've
Yeah,
had
where some of our first few picks are going out super early.
yeah, we've had both of us at some point have had our winner picks not make it to jury.
Yeah.
We've had total decimations. I was the first one to not have anyone at the finale.
Yep.
Uh, I was almost.
And I
It
was
would
the
have been
first person
so.
to not have anyone in the final eight.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But yeah, so our our game has definitely improved when it comes to our draft picks. I think because this
Yeah.
time we had a little bit more data going into it,
Yeah. There's also a
but
lot of preseason talk, and we kind of got to like hear what everyone was thinking of every person pretty much in the game. So there was things for us to definitely look out for.
granted, I will say you still have more people than me, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's I mean, you lost two people in this episode. It's been pretty close,
yeah,
regardless. So,
I will say there was a moment where I was like, am I going to lose three people in one episode?
uh, yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, no, who do you think on your team is the best chance of winning?
I think Christian probably has the best shot because, all right, the edit for my top four, which is Coach, now Stephanie, and Tiffany, hasn't been, or my top three haven't been the greatest. I think Riz God has been getting a lot of great content, and I do
Mm,
think he has winner potential. But I understand the arguments you make, and I think
yeah.
that is, like there is merit to that. And then
Mm,
two, it's like he still has had that big target. Now, I will say this episode I feel is a better direction for him,
mm,
but I think the thing is, if it's a whoever goes to the end with Suri, if Suri is at that final tribal council, there's no if, ands, or buts. You can
yeah.
cancel Christmas.
Yeah.
She will win that game.
Yeah, I will also say Exile, I felt like it focused way more on Ozzy than it did Rizgod. And if
It
Rizgod
did.
was the winner, I think we would have had more focus on Rizgod.
Yeah. So Christian, and then I would give, if I were to give like like a podium, like for them, for me, it would be Christian at number one, Riz God at number two, and then Coach at number three. But kind of like similar to the confessional counts, there is kind of a bit of a huge like divide in like those numbers. So like
Yeah,
for Christian, it's not even close. I think number one person to potentially win on
yeah,
my side. Riz God is like up there, but I'm like more iffy on that. As the game has gone on, I'm like, yeah, I don't think this is your time, coach. I'm sorry.
yeah. I mean, we've gotten a lot of negative coach content, which I don't think we would be getting that kind of content if he wins the season. So I agree. Yeah, for me, I think my three top contenders are Aubrey, Suri, and Ozzy. I would probably say
Yeah,
that those are the three. Um, like Suri would probably be my number one if she didn't have that goose egg. That goose egg makes me not feel like I can put her as my number one.
it's yeah, it's tricky because
Yeah.
it's like the thing is, it's tough for Sari to win because she does. Because I feel like this is Survivor 50,
Mm,
and it's like one of those things. It's like everyone knows she's an icon. Everyone know. Well, she won Traders. She's one of the best to ever. She's one of the best, reality comp stars in history.
mm,
It's like, do you really want to go to the end with that? Because it would be cool, but at the same time, it's for $1 million, and
yeah.
then she's not going to lay down and die at Final Tribal Council. No, she's going to give it her all, and then people will vote for her, even if it's like on the entire legacy of Suri.
Yeah.
It's still she's still playing a pretty solid game from what we've seen so far.
Exactly.
It's like I love her, but you cannot take Suri to the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is also, I mean, there's forced fire making. Like we've seen her lose fire making twice in two different seasons of Survivor, one US, one Australian Survivor. Um, so you know that she can go out there. She's also not great in challenges. So yet again, can be taken out at 5, 6, anywhere around that range, and you'll be fine.
Mhm.
So yeah. Getting her to the end is going to be tough, but if she does, I mean, she wins.
Yeah. Um, Aubrey, I don't know. I feel like she would be edited a little bit more positive this season if that was the case. I think she's playing a good game. In fact, spoiler alert, I'm choosing her as MVP for this episode.
Uh,
But
I think
I feel like
I think next week is going to be what matters because now she doesn't have the Genevieve storyline. If we still see a lot of content from Aubrey in a good spot, I think she's got a very good chance that this was just like the start of her story. It was her and Genevieve, and it just took a long time because they never went to tribal council.
agreed. So I'm
Um,
updating. It's been a while since I've
all good,
updated this.
all good, all
But
good.
yeah,
And then yeah,
Ozzy,
Ozzy. I mean, he's getting content. Like he got a lot of like just good content in general. Like clearly he's got Cirie and Rizzo who want to work with him. I mean, if he gets the end with Rizzo and I don't know someone else who's just not getting a lot of content, like maybe a Chrissy or something like that, I think Ozzy could win that.
yeah, I agree.
Mhm.
Like I personally, out of the three that you said, think it is Ozzy, which is
Mhm.
crazy because it's the two people with the most screen time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I don't know. I don't want to say Ozzy because I mean it just feels like results based analysis, where it's like, well, we're seeing a lot of Ozzy now, so he's got to be the winner, right? Whereas I don't think that's always the case. I think a lot of the time it is someone who's a little more under the radar until around like episode 8 or so, and then they get like a huge visibility spike.
It's so tough to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think like it's a good rule of thumb because since we don't have any, like since we're on uncharted territory with this big of a cast and everything, it's a good rule of thumb because that's what we know. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm also someone that likes to give a little bit of suspension of disbelief. It was like, but you never know.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
Sometimes I do that for myself, just a little more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah. So yeah. If I were to go over, so I have six people left and you have eight. So pretty even,
Yeah,
but I
yeah, I
would
mean,
say
anything can happen. I mean, but yet again, I do think you have not many winner contenders, at least from what
yeah,
I'm
I
seeing.
I have Christian and Rizgod as like mine, and I feel like there is an argument for Cirie. There's like a strong argument you have for Cirie, Ozzy, and Aubrey.
Yeah,
Whereas like Rizgod, I mean, like I still have to acknowledge, like, yeah,
he hasn't
yeah,
been skunked, and he's in a good spot. Like there's
yeah.
that going for him. But yeah, I mean, yours is definitely Christian. Hopefully, he can overcome shitting his pants.
That's the one thing that's like you can't win this game. There's no way they would be they would keep that shit.
or they do because I mean it was great.
It was too damn funny.
It was
Like
so good.
I'm not a big fan of shit jokes or pee jokes or anything,
Yeah.
but god damn it was too damn good. It's like
Seeing him waddle and then Joe be like, "He reminds me of my toddler."
he's no, it's the fact that he's like in his confessional, my wife's gonna divorce me for this.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. You don't
Yeah.
have to film any of it.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then they blur it out.
It's too damn funny.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, let's go to MVPs and LVPs here. You
I already
already
said
said
Aubrey because I feel like She got her target down. B,
Mhm.
she did form bonds with like it, like she cemented something at the very least for the next couple rounds with really Devins and Christian, but you can lump Joe in there as well. Because they
Yeah.
didn't consider and she got rid of her target, and then most importantly, she still has her idol,
Mhm.
which no matter what happens, she can still play it next round if she since she does have it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's a good choice there. I will go a little different here actually. I'm going to give it to Chrissy. I do think she, was able to pull the strings and get Jonathan to do the flip. Um, and yeah, she's coming out of that with no blood on her hands, really, even though she voted out Camilla. Like and she was going to be the one going home if she didn't do that. Like she had to be the one to actively, get the numbers, and she did.
Yeah, I think that's a solid choice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like also it's like because I know Chrissy has been very glossed over this season,
Mm-hmm.
so it's nice for her to get some good content. It's like I always like in all-star seasons, like, oh, this is why I love this person. This is why we chose them. And then like we saw with Chrissy, it was like you saw the sweet, like, and she was convinced like it's okay, it's about the fun time. I just want my elimination to be joyous. And confession was like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you
She's I
see, I'm
I
like,
guarantee you she's had way more good confessionals like that. They're just not using it.
yeah. Um, and then for LVP for me, it's a little tricky because I feel if I were to give it to someone who's still in the game, it might have to be Coach because I feel like with how he handled stuff, he's still going to be a target going into the next round
Mhm.
because like I don't feel like those three are still willing to work with Coach after that. Like they want to keep him around. And also, they didn't have a choice because Colby was about to be medevac before the tribal. And I think
Mhm.
part of it was they hyped up the Blood Moon, the first triple, and they still wanted to pay that off. It's like, listen, you're going to be pulled no matter what. But let's just do this on camera so that way we can say, yeah, it happened
Mhm.
here.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they will do that. Just be
Yeah.
like the what is it? Because they pulled Brandon Hance from the game
Yeah.
um because of like his behavior and stuff, but they had to like do something. It was like, oh, he's you know pulled out, like he is eliminated. We're having like a fake tribal, so it was theater basically.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. I'm gonna give the LVP to the Blood Moon twist. I think that this was a terrible twist, and that we should never be doing this again of making three teams of five randomly when you merged. I think this was a terrible decision. So Jeff, Survivor, never make it again. Don't get into your heads that, oh, this was just a crazy twist. Oh, I like it when random things happen. No, 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 no. Don't do that. We want Survivor. We want people to actually be able to play the game the way that they need to play the game, not
honorable
by
mention
rock
for
draw.
LVP, the Boomerang Idol.
Yeah, Boomerang
You,
Idol.
you,
The twist of the season have not been working. The
no,
cast has been delivering. The twists have not.
yeah, it's just the boomerang thing sounds cool on paper, but in practice, well, the one of the people is gone, so those idols are
Yeah,
just
they're just
idols that
idols.
can't be transferred or played on anyone else.
Yeah.
And then you know, I it's also like I feel it's so much harder to blindside someone with an idol
Yeah.
than, like I feel like no, it's
And
so tricky to do
especially an idol that's just given to you, because that is now just like like why who cares, waste it if you want, just use it just to make it sure that you're through, especially once you find out that the whole purpose of it is this boomerang thing, and it can go back to someone else. Like now, so you're like, oh, someone might want to blindside me. Well, I'm not going to give them that option. Like,
Also, it's a guilt-free idol because it's like, well,
yeah,
I didn't find it. I was just given it.
yeah,
And
exactly.
that's a totally different feel than like, oh, um, that's totally different feel where it's like, oh yeah, like Genevieve has two idols. She's a threat for there. It was like, it's like, no, oh, Rizzo has the idol because he was just gifted it. Or oh,
Yeah,
um Ozzy has the idol because he was just gifted it.
mhm,
So there's not really anything
yeah.
he can do about it. It's not like I got it.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's very different when you find an idol and you have to work for it. You can be a little more greedy and not want to just play it. But yeah, if it's given to you, I mean, it's just the odds of like there's just so many things that need to happen for what they wanted to have happen, that it's just the odds of it are just very very slim.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm not like, it's gonna be cool when we do Brant Steels and because there's 24 people, but so like this idol twist is gonna not be fun when we do it because of how it works. Um I think the Blood Moon thing is gonna suck also when we do it. I do think a bit sometimes of the format because I care about our Brant Steels. And I'm just like,
Well, I mean, no, I mean, format is important. Well, I mean, like not
yeah,
just brand steals, but like
yeah,
even orgs in general. It's like it's something like they're introducing different ideas and stuff. So it's like
yeah,
obviously, like there are some things the show will do. It was like, all right, they're not going to do that in org, or like usually they won't do that. But it's like it's something like we think about this show a lot, and then we do look at it from like the game making aspect as well. It's like, all right, does this make sense? This makes sense, but yeah.
mhm,
I will say brand steals are stressful. Crazy shit like this will make it more stressful.
yeah. Exactly. Okay, anything else you want to talk about before we end it here?
No, I think that's pretty much everything.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, well, with that being said, we will see you all in the next one.
Peace.